Hi, Joao. Thank you for sending in your essays for correction and for telling me your IELTS story. My name is Daphne. I see that you've got an exam on Saturday, but you've rebooked because you're not sure about what you will get in the writing. But hey, amazing scores in your reading and listening. That's great work. And I'm happy you're on the course because I think this will help you, give you confidence on the writing, and you're going to have a lot of corrections. We'll work together, and I will help you as much as I can. So the argument of it, so you've got just check out this title here. School's more entertaining. This is the most important word here, entertaining, and the danger is not to repeat that word. That's what we have to try and do. So the argument over whether new methods for learning at school are necessary or the traditional role of school should be kept unchanged has not been settled yet. That's a really nice intro, but new methods for learning at school, you kind of need to indicate what those might be. Just a little bit maybe need to indicate, yeah. New methods of learning at school, including more sport and music. So this is your sort of interpretation of entertaining, okay? So and I like how you're doing the intro, but you need to show me what you mean by these new methods. It has not been settled yet, whereas school has long been accomplished. Not accomplished. Is that the right word you want? Long been designed. You could say school has long accomplished the education of, but it would doesn't kind of work in English. Whereas school has long has long has maybe let's just simplify this a bit. Whereas school has successfully educated previous generations, or maybe you could say whereas an academic focus has successfully educated previous generations, there is unexplored potential for improvement with the adoption of new technologies. Nice. Ultimately, I think or I believe that schools should consider entertainment. Now, watch out. Okay, don't use this word. Consider incorporating interactive lessons or something, or incorporating technology, maybe, as an effective teaching tool. Okay, and then you need to introduce this essay. We'll discuss the key issues using examples from. Okay, and tell me where your examples are going to come from. Okay. The revision of the current schooling methodology. Okay, so why don't you need a bit of structure in here. Firstly, the revision or reworking. So quite a good tip for this exam is if you say it like the revision, say it again in another word, because this really helps your language, the lexis. Also helps show the examiner you really understand what you're talking about. Sometimes with just one word, it's not really clear, but when you have two words, it's clearer. So the original reworking of the current schooling methodology, aiming it or repositioning, I'll put maybe repositioning it to be more entertaining to students. Now, instead of entertainment, we're going to put interesting or challenging. So again, you can see I'm using more words here to students, might result in a positive impact. Switching to an engaging teaching approach as opposed to the traditional class could combine, I wouldn't use can, I would use could, combine the benefits of additional interest of the students with the main goal of transmitting subject-specific knowledge. Fantastic, this is really nice, excellent. Recent studies have shown that when using entertainment, now again, you need to say what you mean. You can't keep using this word because, like what? Doing what in class? Doing cooking inside a history lesson, nice idea. Doing maths using sport, yeah. Tell me, gives you really a vivid, exciting example. Students remained less distracted and were more able to. Now you can't long-lasting record. More able to remember and record what was portrayed. Okay, so I like long-lastingly, but it doesn't work here. So remember does the same job for you. Okay, what was portrayed? Yeah, okay. Yes, or the theme of the lesson, maybe something like that. Portrayed is not usually what we do in a lesson. So I love the word, but it's not necessarily quite right for an academic lesson. Technology. So secondly, experts understand that. So sometimes you need a little bit of blah, blah, blah before you go into your sentence. It just is the kind of nice academic style. Technology is already transforming the teaching environment, with schools increasingly implementing interactive classrooms, enabling, you don't enable for, you just enable an immersive and deeper learning experience for students. For instance, this new media allows for the employment of a greater amount of senses. Senses, what do you mean senses while in class? You need to explain that. And then such as, so explain it to me, what do you mean? Consequently, increasing learning effectiveness. Furthermore, research from a study or just research from Harvard unveiled that a group of students who were taught using interactive classroom had a much higher score in standardized tests. They're subject to traditional, yeah, good, okay. I really like that paragraph. You can see it's very, very good. You need to kind of make it real for me. So tell me some examples here. What do you mean? And why are they more excited? Because they use computers the whole time. It's more natural for them. So just expand. Okay, give me more. In conclusion, now I want your opinion. Okay, I believe. Opinion again here that while education has a lot to benefit from unconventional approaches to teaching that are enabled by, okay, not while, sorry, forgive me. Education, learning, enabled, you don't need that, enabled by new technology. It is possible to infer that the typical school will be greatly transformed in the future. Disrupting, nice, I love the word disrupting. Really good, hey, wow, this is looking great. Oh, hang on, where's the other one? No, we should have 2 essays, here we go. Here we go, I knew it was good. Doing an enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills and imagination than reading. Okay, so reading is a fundamental, no, not a fundamental skill, yeah, in our economy, or fundamental, or if you wanted to say fundamental in our, it should be in. You can't have a fundamental. Just is fundamental. Either a fundamental skill or fundamental, and it's definitely important for the development of children. However, it's not the development, it's developing the imagination. Yeah, so be specific, okay, for the growth in understanding and development of children. However, so develop it, we were trying to avoid using that again. However, maybe you could have learning vital skills and increasing ideas, maybe, could be more effectively achieved through engaging in amusing activities other than reading. Amusing, what do you mean? This is kind of, I'm not sure about that word. Exciting, stimulating, interesting. Opinion. I want your opinion here. And then this essay aims to demonstrate the limitations of reading using examples of activities that are better suited. Nice, good, nice, strong intro there. Firstly, children have to overcome an internal restriction, which is their exceptionally short attention span. Okay, careful. Many children, or even better, in today's world, which is full of distraction. Okay. Oh, sorry, spelling today. Okay. Avoid that. Children have to overcome an internal restriction. Yeah, okay. Monotonous activities, namely reading, can be very challenging for pupils. On the other hand, playing console games tends to be a particularly engaging and dynamic activity, being easy for them to concentrate over long periods of time. Now, yes, this is amazing, and yes, I can see that you really understand what you're saying, but tell me why. Yeah, it tends to be easier to concentrate over long periods of time. Okay, and because of this, you don't need to just explain it to me. It is easier for them to concentrate over longer periods of time. Okay, you don't need to have furthermore here. Put it later. A recent study with schoolboys showed, has shown, that's okay, that those who regularly played video games had better spatial awareness and were able to read text more quickly. Furthermore, then you could have furthermore if you want to add information. Engagement with these games added to their ability to work as a team or something like that and be competitive. I know you're going to talk about sports, so but just in the organisation of the paragraph, that is better to have that at the end there. Secondly, practicing sport is an excellent alternative to developing. It's not an alternative; it's an excellent way to develop. It's an alternative to reading in developing. You need to make that contrast there. For instance, playing football is not only beneficial for dexterity, but can also possibly learn social skills such as teamwork. Good. Teamwork. Why is that important? This is important because later on in life, when you have a job, you need to work as a team. Give me another sentence in here, a bit more. In addition, recent research from Harvard found that physically active children tend to have higher marks across different disciplines at school. Okay, therefore, it is clear. Sorry. It is clear that, and tell me why. So this paragraph is a little bit short, needs a bit more in here. Why is that good? To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that there are more effective activities to aid, you don't need a comma, the development of skills and imagination of children. So if we can possibly get around this word, let's try, rather than reading. It's possible to predict that additional research on cognitive development will push education towards less conventional methods. Yes, now I really like your essay, but the only thing you're not doing here is doing an activity with a child. So you need to address, just to get the total marks on task achievement, you need to address this idea that it's doing something with a child. Yes, they can play video games on their own, but also throw in, so mention the idea that you could play it with them, you could play sport with them, you could be involved in taking them to the park or taking them to a museum, taking them to visit another country. Yeah, don't forget this bit. Doing an activity with a child is quite important. So don't start here talking about schools. We're not talking about schools. It's very much you doing something with a child. But great start, really impressed. Well done.